it's Anna, welcome to my channel. I'm gonna do a very brief, hopefully, review of The Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco. Don't know. It was published last year, so it's fairly old. I was sort of waiting to read it so I could read it back to back with the sequel. It's not gonna happen. I did not finish this book, therefore I give it 0 stars, because that's my new rule. Don't finish, don't get stars. This could have been amazing. I was really looking forward to it. It's got a necromancer in it. I was like, oh my god, necromancy. This is going to be interesting, you know, a bit dark, you know, kind of magic that's not, you know, fluffy and yay, let's save the world kind of thing. So, it sounded awesome. Basic premise, if you're going to try and read it, is that Tia, although it's spelled tea, like cup of tea, so I just called it tea the whole way through, until I read a review by somebody else who was like, apparently it's Tia, and I'm like, really? How were we meant to know that as readers? Anyway, I'm gonna call her T, just to... No, that's rude. But I'm gonna call her T because that's what I called her, in my head. So she's different from the other witches in her family, which she finds out when she accidentally resurrects her brother from the dead. Whoops. So, you know, it's basically necromancer. They call them bone witches, and they're sort of feared and reviled in her country. So an older bone witch happens to be able to feel her magical energy and comes to the rescue, and she takes Tia and her brother, whose name I don't remember because he was boring as batshit, to her country to train her to be an usher. And usher is the nice word that they use for people with magical powers, as opposed to witch, which is degrading and, you know, offensive and whatnot. Anyway, usher can have different kinds of powers. Most of them are other elements like fire and stuff like that, but the dark sort of usher, like Tia, can resurrect the dead and can control these awful beasts, monstrous beasts, one of whom actually killed her brother. Anyway, so that's the story. Literally in the 41%, because again I don't have an actual copy, so Kindle percent. Anyway, in the 41% that I actually read, and that was on try number 3, there's basically 0 character development. Just whatever. I don't care about anyone. I have no emotional investment in any of them at all. I don't really care. I mean, the only thing that kept me going to 41% was, okay, so it's interspersed, like, there's a chapter, like, written by, like, a bard, or recite, whatever, by a bard, who goes and sees Tia when she's in, like, self-exile on a rocky beach, and she's, like, super awesome and dark and evil, and she's resurrected beasts, and, you know, she's vengeful and all that sort of stuff. And it's really cool. She seems awesome. I'm like, cool. I wonder how she got from this, you know, naive, like, little, you know, younger girl to, you know, this dark, vengeful goddess. Not really a goddess, but I wonder. So that's what kept me going. As I said, in the 41% I read, nothing happened. Pretty much nothing happened. She raised her brother, and the other usher took her to her own country to be trained. That is literally it. Anyway, there's too much detail, which I really hate. Like, when she walks into a room, they describe what every single person is wearing, or what colour it is, like obscure things like chartreuse. And I'm like, what the fuck is chartreuse? And there's a few others that I had to actually look up. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Anyway, down to like the tiny embroidery on like their sashes and stuff. Like, oh, she has a silver thread, you know, in the shape of clouds and billowing clouds. Ooh. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Oh. And it continues. It keeps doing that. I'm like, no. Like, the writing style itself, apart from the awful descriptions, again, like, is actually good. Like, it's the characterization and the plot and the excessive descriptions that let this book down. I probably would have continued it, honestly. I would have pushed through all the annoying crap to get to the end, because I hate not finishing books. And this is the reason that I put it down. It is literally Memoirs of a Geisha with magic. Literally. The Asha are essentially magical geisha. They live in, you know, like Asha houses with, you know, names, which is essentially an okia, if you know anything about geisha. They go to work in tea houses, like a geisha. They train in singing and dancing and conversation, like a geisha. That's fine. That's all fine. I'm like, okay. But literally, this author, I'm not going to go so far as to say plagiarism. Oh, I just said it. But they literally took 2 scenes from Arthur Golden's Memoirs of a Geisha and mushed them together. Just because you do that doesn't mean it's original writing. It means it's lazy and you stole it. Wow, I'm really angry. It's lazy storytelling for a start. I mean, I don't know. No. I don't think there's any excuse for it. At all. I can literally give you the page numbers from Memoirs of a Geisha, and you could go read them, and then you read the bit in The Bone Witch, and you're like, it's exactly the fucking same. Slightly different, but basically, you know, a few different little details around, but it's basically identical. And that's not on. I'm sorry. No. I don't recommend this book to anyone, mostly because I'm really angry about that. Just, I'm so disappointed. Like, you've got no idea. I've done heaps of research on geisha, so, I mean, there's a tiny part of that that's like I know all of this. I don't want to read about something I know that much about, even if it is fiction. Sorry. But no, most of it is lazy storytelling and stealing ideas. Or literally whole scenes. So, don't recommend it. Don't read it. I mean, you can if you want. But if I were Arthur Golden, I would be spitting chips. Not that he has a leg to stand on, because he took a lot of his story from Minako Iwasaki, and she wanted to remain anonymous anyway. It's a big thing, and he credited her, and she was like, I'm going to write my own book. So if you want to read a book about geisha, you should read Minako Iwasaki's autobiography. It's much better, and it's real. So, anyway, Memoirs of the Geisha is actually pretty decent too. But, anyway. That's it from me. Sorry for the rant and the spoilers. Not that there's much to spoil, because nothing happened at all. And yeah, I hope to see you again. Bye!